Here we go then. He's got her in the opening weekend of the season.
The fixtures for the new Premier League season are about to be revealed. Who will Arsenal begin their title defence against? Yes, hello everybody, good morning. It was always going to take something pretty special to distract us from our wall-to-wall World Cup coverage. I think this is more than a bit special. This is the new Premier League season and the countdown, as you can see, TikTok is almost at zero. We've got the new Premier League football in the studio and we've got new and old. Charlie Austin is with me. Charlie, I'm going to take you back to your first season with Queen's Park Rangers a few years ago now. Your first season ahead of the Premier League. How will some of these players from the promoted teams be feeling with 1 minute to go?
I'd be excited when they're waiting to see who they're going to play first game of the season, last game, Christmas period, etc. When they're going to play against the team they support. Listen, it's a massive achievement for the team and a player on an individual basis of getting into that Premier League, and there'll be certain fixtures that they'll be looking forward to going and playing against.
When you're at Queen's Park Rangers, what was the first fixture you were looking out for?
Liverpool and Anfield, and then it was always the first game of the season, last game of the season, Boxing Day. And we played Boxing Day 28 back then, and then
busy period
then.
And well, we have good news, I can tell you, about Boxing Day. It was a bit barren last year, Boxing Day. There was just the one fixture, but this year, I'm led to believe it might be a revert to the normal. What are we on? 20-second countdown. This is it for players of Hull City, players of Ipswich Town, players of Coventry, and for Arsenal as well, who want to know who they will be playing to launch their season as champions. We are into the final 10 seconds and we're about to learn who is playing who.
Let's go.
On the first day of the season. Okay, here we go. As if by magic, it is coming, I'm told. Hold this space.
Here we go.
Hey, presto. There we go. I'm going to have to turn this way, Charlie. Oh, that is a biggie right behind me. That is champions against champions. Game respects game.
Look at the opening weekend, hon.
Arsenal, the Premier League champions, against the Championship winners Coventry. Hull against Manchester United. Welcome to the Premier League.
Well,
first season in the top flight for 10 years, and I'm quickly scanning because I want to find the other promoted team. It's Ipswich up against the team that were in the same boat as them last season in Sunderland, and Sunderland had that brilliant season. What catches your eye first here?
Listen, Arsenal Coventry first.
Well, what a game from Arsenal for Coventry.
How much development Coventry have done over the summer.
His first game in charge is against Newcastle and Liverpool
what scenario,
on the opening weekend.
Because we see how well they finished last season, champions. Now they're at the kind of crossroads bit. What I mean that they can really go and grab hold of this trophy and win it for 2 or 3 years, because the teams that are chasing them are in a little bit of a remit kind of thing. Liverpool got a new manager, Chelsea got a new manager, Man City's got a new manager.
So
I feel like it's Arsenal's the ones that have got both hands on the trophy and they can keep hold of it for as long as I guess they want to.
And you're really whetting my appetite. So just to let you know that they have nudged back the start of the Premier League season. That's no surprise because of the World Cup. You give the players a little bit of additional time. And actually, a lot of the players that are coming up from the promoted teams won't have been as busy this summer. And Arsenal, a lot of their players, we've already seen the 4 of them away with Arsenal. Declan Rice is performing absolute wonders. They might be slightly heavy-legged to start the season.
And there won't be no surprise to that, really. You think of all the players that have gone to the World Cup, and there's so much demand on that at the moment because of it's the World Cup, of course. But ultimately, them players will know that when they come back to club football, as Arsenal players, they will know after winning the Premier League this season, they'll want to do that again and again and again as much as they can. Let's be honest, and that's going to be the thing for Mikel Arteta's team now. They've got over the line once. They want to stay over that line so they can keep their name on the trophy.
Okay, need to cycle through this because we've done the top 4 games there. Nottingham Forest against Leeds, a couple of teams that last season, for a period of the season, were very nervous about relegation. They'll be hoping to climb up the table, obviously, this season. Tottenham Hotspur were the worst of the teams that stayed in the Premier League, starting off with an away London derby against Brentford. Brighton and Aston Villa both playing in Europe this season. They'll start the season down at the Amex. And Bournemouth have an away trip with their new manager, Marco Rosa. His first game in the Premier League is against Manchester City, and we pretty much know that it's going to be Enzo Maresca, but as yet not confirmed as the new Manchester City boss. And look at the game beneath that, Newcastle against Liverpool, with so many subplots bubbling away, as there was this time last season, Charlie, because Liverpool stole a player from Newcastle. This time they've done it again, and they play on the first day of the season.
I think it was always going to happen after what happened last year, and then what's happened just a couple of days ago. Now they've been put together to play. Listen, it'd be one of them where I think Newcastle will be kicking themselves really. Because
So the Champions kick off our season against Coventry on August the 21st at 8 p.m.
That's always an exciting fixture, Newcastle versus Liverpool.
Certainly is, and we have booked it in for the very first Super Sunday of the season, 4:30 kickoff at St James's Park. You can see the Sky selections on the screen behind us. So the Friday night kickoff is the champions against champions, Arsenal against Coventry, Brighton against Aston Villa is the Sunday 2 o'clock kickoff. Along with Manchester City and Bournemouth, 2 o'clock on the Sunday. The late game on the Saturday, Brentford against Tottenham. And we'll round off that opening weekend with a West London derby with a new manager for Chelsea, Xabi Alonso, against Fulham, who, as yet, we don't know who'll be in their dugout.
And this is the thing, when you go for, there's so many good fixtures in Auoucment, but this is the Premier League, there should be good fixtures, that happens all the time. But this one, so many clubs now, managers have moved on and so many new managers have come in, but then you're looking around, Ipswich, newly promoted, they haven't got a manager. Fulham, Marcus Silva's gone. You kind of knew January, February time that he was going.
Yeah.
They haven't got a manager.
Fulham said they were surprised that he decided to leave. I don't think anyone else
has. And then we've got 4 or 5 new managers have come to clubs. So I think, listen, it's going to be an interesting start to the Premier League season, shall we say?
Yeah, so many subplots and stories everywhere you look on that opening weekend of the season. So we've done that. Charlie, you mentioned to us that when you were waiting for the fixtures to come out, it was first day, last day, Boxing Day.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you that Boxing Day last year was a little bit quiet. There was just the one game on the TV. Let's have a look at the Boxing Day fixtures for this year. Now, obviously, there will be some movement on this because of television, but we are told that there will be more than one game on Boxing Day, a return to the tradition, which is what we want to see. And you've got a better eye on this one. What's catching your eye here? I think, once again, there's another big game involving Newcastle, with Manchester City visiting St James's Park.
I think so. And that,
these have got Aston Villa on Boxing Day, Coventry have got Chelsea, we've got Sunderland at home on Boxing Day, United have got Forest.
Period, that's when you know it's getting spicy. Then you look at it, even with Arsenal going to Crystal Palace, it's going to be a good fixture there.
Boxing Day fixtures.
And you look at it, you've got Man United, Nottingham Forest, especially with
Hull have got Liverpool, Ipswich have got Brentford, and Coventry have got Chelsea.
But they would obviously like to think that they can do a lot better than what they did last year. So for me, yeah, the standout one really in that one is the Newcastle Man City.
Yeah, and we will round off the trio that you said you're always interested in the opening day, Boxing Day, and the final day fixtures. So let's have a quick look at those and just talk us through this. Now, I think a couple of really interesting subplots bubbling away. Now, we never know which way a Premier League season's going to go. Arsenal are the bookmakers' favourites. If it goes to the wire, their final game is against Brighton. I wonder if this catches your attention. You mentioned that Liverpool was one of the first
we're going to Pullman Road in the final day.
Go to Anfield on the last day of the season. Bournemouth's old boss Anthony Iraola will be in the dugout. Let's say they won the league. Bournemouth might have to give their old coach a guard of honour.
I think it's going to be an interesting one. This is a good fixture there, and they go to their old manager, rightly so. But I think it's going to be an interesting one for Bournemouth.
Yeah, Liverpool.
I
know always going to go play against Manchester because they've got European football. We need to take on Bournemouth.
It's all right performing well in Europe.
That's the final day of the season.
Then you've got Fulham on its own. So I think it's going to be interesting for Bournemouth and Sunderland this summer.
Yeah, and it all kicks off on August the 21st with Arsenal against Coventry. Let's get into these fixtures in more detail, and Arsenal in particular. Let's head to the Emirates and join Gary Cottrell, who is there for us this morning. Good morning, Gary. Great to see you. For the first time in 22 years, Arsenal will kick off a Premier League season as champions.
And what a game for them to start the new season with. It is, as you said, the champions versus the champions. The champions of the Premier League versus the champions of the Championship. The new kids on the block versus the best team in the country right now. And I guess Frank Lampard, who will have been watching this at home, will have taken a sharp intake of breath.
I don't think Frank Lampard's going to enjoy taking on Arsenal in the opening weekend of the season.
Massive games in the Premier League, massive games in London, massive games at this place. We're coming up against the best straight away. That'll show us where we are, what we've got to do, how much more we've got to do, where we're going to stand in terms of chances of staying in the Premier League. A big match as well, of course, Victor Gyökeres, who spent a large part of his career in this country at
If you were
Coventry.
from
So
Lampard now and you
really
just
is
found out
one
you've
for
taken on for
the neutrals to
champions,
watch. Any neutral,
how
anybody who's
would
not an
you
Arsenal fan,
feel?
we will in
you've
Coventry
got
to come here
October,
and do a job on Arsenal.
You're
What
looking
about
to
their second game?
fairness,
Arsenal's second game
Dad,
was the last week's
you're
season.
looking to
Arsenal
Arsenal on
won their
October the
opening 2
10th.
fixtures. Well, after Coventry here, they
That's
go to Villa
Arsenal's
Park
opening
because
6
they lost
games of the
at Villa Park
season.
last season. So that's a tough second game for Arsenal. After that, it's Chelsea here, another tough game.
And then
The
again
new
on
management, of course,
October the 10th,
Chelsea, Frank Lampard will be coming
Arsenal
close
goes
to
on
that as
loan
well.
on the
I'm
10th
sure
of October.
then Sunderland away, then Brighton away, and their third home game of the next Premier League season will be Leeds. Well, Leeds were their second home game last season. What a job they
But
did
Daniel
after
Farkas
5
happy he's got an
brilliant
easy
ones.
team
So
to
those
kick
are
off
the
his
first
campaign.
6 fixtures for
Hey.
Arsenal. What about some other highlights in the Arsenal Premier League calendar? Well, Manchester City here, that will be on November the 28th. Spurs away at Spurs for the first part of the North London derby duo.
Well,
On
who do you
December the
face
5th,
home?
where will Spurs be by the time Arsenal go and play at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? And it's Manchester United away on December the 19th.
What
And
do you
actually,
face,
that
Frank?
Christmas
I feel
period,
so
in terms
Coventry.
of the location
What
of
about
fixtures, is looking
Ipswich?
good for Arsenal because
But you're
all of
away on the
December and
10th
the
of
first half of
February.
January, when
Oh.
fixtures are at their busiest, they don't travel out of
February.
London at all. They're either at home here or in London. So that'll be something that Mikel Arteta will be relishing and
just
will
got-
be grateful for. What about the last game of the season?
Liverpool
Well, of course,
away
the
on
last game of the
December
season when they
the
lifted the title by 7 points at the end last
That'd be a
season.
tough
They have
one,
to
that'd
do
be a
that
good
at Crystal
cracker.
Palace down the road from here. Well,
You
this
don't
season,
Liverpool at home on the 24th.
And then Alonso kicks off his Premier League campaign, doesn't he, against Fulham?
North London derby. They'll have to wait till May for that one. Tottenham Hotspur here, but yeah, listen, it says champions there. It's going to be saying
So you're
champions
at
when
home on the
Coventry
2nd
come
of
here in a
January.
couple of months' time.
Alright.
Gary, great to hear from you. Thank you.
So
So Arsenal are the bookmakers' favourites. They'll begin their title defence as many of their rivals undergoing a period of transition. New managers pretty much everywhere you look. For the first time in 10 years, Manchester City will start the season, and it won't be Pep Guardiola in the dugout.
No
Let's
way.
cross live to Anton to Louis. Hello, Anton. Now, we think, we're pretty sure that Maresca will be the new Manchester City manager,
They haven't
but no
confirmed
signs of
that.
any white smoke yet.
What's that?
No, not yet, but whoever comes in faces a really tough start to the Premier League next season because Manchester City's first opening 6 games have 4 teams that qualify for Europe. The team that topped the Championship last season and Manchester Derby thrown in as well. The post-Pep Premier League era starts
Manchester
here
Derby on my
at the
birthday.
Etihad on Super Sunday.
Yep.
Bournemouth come here.
At Old
Marco Rose,
Trafford.
the new coach of the Premier League, brings his side up.
On
for
my
the first
birthday.
away game.
Coventry at
Will
home,
be
that's going
down
to be a
at
tough
Crystal
one, isn't
Palace
it?
the following week.
Can be walking the park.
It's Coventry at home.
Frank
back at the
Lampard's
Etihad
returned to
for
the
the
Premier
first
League.
Manchester
So don't
derby
worry
of
about
the
that.
And then
season. Early
you
September
face Man
at
City
Old Trafford,
at the
a
Etihad on
fascinating
October
game
the
between
10th.
Enzo Maresca going head to head
Put that in
with
your
Michael Carrick.
diary.
Then it's Sunderland at home before the first, another potential title shifting game
Oh,
as they
what
take
again?
on
That will be Man City
as well. So that's
Liverpool.
not an easy opening, is it?
On
For
October
Manchester
the
City as they
10th.
start this season.
Hold.
Gary talks about the
It's
games
at
Arsenal
House
have
of
got
Man
to
City.
take
Whoever
on
comes in is
Arsenal
at House
twice
South
in
for
the
them.
space of 2 months. Once at the end of
They've-
November, once at the end of January.
They've got to
as
face
well.
Coventry. They've got to face
Mentioned
Liverpool.
It's Newcastle away. That's going to be a fascinating game.
That's not easy if you're a Man City fan.
It's a tricky trip to Sunderland for Manchester City. So yeah, we are waiting
Enzo's got a big job if he's going to come in and take charge of Man City.
We're expecting new signings as well. The Bernardo
That's
Silva
very
era
good
is
games.
also over at
But you've
Manchester
got,
City.
why have you got an
Two
easy
midfielders
team? I thought we were going to
and
get a
Anderson,
whole
San
Coventry.
Bernardo potentially coming in.
You've got
It's going to be a
Forest.
summer of change, but like I said, whoever comes in faces a difficult
How
start
did the
to
face
the
Coventry in
60
the
season.
weekend?
It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? For now, Anton, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
here we go.
The
Coventry's
other
first
Premier League
6
team
games
are playing
back
the
in the
same colour
Premier
as
League.
Manchester City, the Sky Blues. Coventry City preparing for their first Premier League season in 25 years. The Premier League's only 35 years old. They are the longest anyone has ever spent outside the league between their last relegation and a promotion. Frank Lampard preparing for another Premier League season, but his first with that club. How will they be feeling, do you think, having drawn Arsenal on that opening day?
Well, listen, it's one of them where whoever they'd have got, it's going to be a tough game. But they've got the champion, so why not just jump in the deep end first and see how you go? But they will know every game in the Premier League. Frank Lampard will know every game in the Premier League that is going to be tough. He knows what he would need to do over the summer and players he needs to bring in and strengthen his squad and strengthen his starting 11. He'll have a lot of belief in himself, his coaching staff.
So Coventry have got Arsenal, Hull, Man City, Brighton, Forest, Newcastle.
Man v man,
The first 6 games back in the top 5.
Same with Ipswich and same with Hull. But
I'll come if you're going to win any of them games there.
It doesn't mean if you lose the opening day, it doesn't mean that.
If you're from Clonard, how are you feeling? They've got a good start. Arsenal.
First game will go
and that's how Coventry have to go into it.
Yeah, a free hit Friday night under the lights at the Emirates. Coventry City go to Arsenal, the Premier League champions,
On the opening
against
night.
the Championship winners on that opening day of the season. Let's get more from Coventry City and go live to the CBS
Here we go
Arena
then.
and speak to Amber Sandhu's there for us. Amber.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, you really can't write it, can you? It's champions v champions on match day 1 as Coventry City travel to North London on that Friday night and face the champions of the Premier League. Now, they've hosted a special breakfast here at the CBS Arena for all of the staff. It was mixed reactions when Arsenal came on the screen. There, a lot of excitement in terms of that first home fixture here at the CBS. They will be hosting fellow Championship promoters Hull City, and then on Boxing Day Chelsea. A lot of buzz around that Boxing Day fixture and having Chelsea, but getting a bit of reaction. Joining me now is chairman and owner of Coventry City, Doug.
Hello.
Doug, first easy day travelling to Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I thought it would be a big one. Away at the champions, what a way to start it. Champions against champions. So I think everybody's excited. There was a little bit of nervous tension around. It went quiet afterwards, but look, we've got to play everybody twice, and we're excited to start it at the home of Arsenal.
Another huge fixture will be the first home game here where you face Hull City. I know there's been a lot of development here as well, a lot of preparations. How much are you looking forward to that one?
Well, we played them in our first game last year, so it's a double header, which is quite weird. But listen, we always like Hull coming here, and we've done a load of work out there. You've had a walk around, I think, today, and it's all systems go and action stations. We've got ourselves ready, and we'll need our home support hugely this year. We've seen what Sunderland did at home, and I think that's what we want to make it. We had a great home support in the Championship winning season, and I think we'll need it even more in the Premier League.
You mentioned some of the developments that are happening here. Tell us about the work that has been going on behind the scenes to make sure this place and the training ground is Premier League ready.
Premier League ready, that's a good sort of statement, isn't it? Gantries, cables, studios for you guys that are very luxurious.
Oh, that's lovely.
Lots of work at the training ground that we need to do to just continue enhancing that and making it fit for obviously a few new signings that I'm sure will come in. And make us really feel part of this huge new project for us, new journey. And look, you've got to feel like it. If you don't feel like it, then you sort of don't really believe they belong there. So we're getting it all done. It's going really quickly at high speed, but we're really excited.
You mentioned a few new signings, off to see new contracts for Victor. New contracts for Victor Thorpe and Bobby Thomas. Some more business to be done then, Doug?
It's not started yet, has it? They're all in the World Cup. So, look, we've got our plans. We know what we think we want to do, and we took our time to sort of get that blueprint there, and I guess we'll see how it all unfolds. But obviously, with the World Cup, it makes it a little bit more difficult than previous years.
Well, it's been a lovely morning here. We've got the staff behind us as well. We've been enjoying a lovely breakfast, getting the whole team together. This is really important. This is what it means to the club, doesn't it, Doug?
We haven't been here for a long time, have we? We've never been here at the stadium in the Premier League, right? So the issue is it's really special.
We've got to get ready for August.
Intimidated by it. We're not daunted by it. We want to give it a proper play. We feel we belong there. We got there. We got there as champions, and that's how I think the team behind me and the team who run the football side of it think about it.
And in terms of your connection with the fans, we know that you're very involved. You like to keep that line of communication as well. What is your message to them heading into what is going to be such a milestone season?
Well, away game at Arsenal, obviously there won't be too many that can probably get to that one. And then Hull at home, they'll probably be going, gee, Hull at home again. No disrespect to Hull, of course, but they had it last year. But look, they're through. We went on our season ticket sales this week. They've been going great guns. People are really, really excited around the city. You saw the parade. You saw the emotion that came out after all these years of not really being back where we wanted to be. So I think that, yeah, it's just going to build and build and build. And I like it building because, you don't know what's going to happen, right? And then when you get down there, you see what occurs and see how we're going to sort of kick off the season.
But It's always great to talk to you. Good luck for the season as well. Chairman and owner here at Coventry City. Now the real hard work starts on and off the pitch. A lot happening here at the CBS Arena and at the training ground as well. All ahead of what is going to be an opening, big, huge fixture travelling to Arsenal on Friday, the 21st of August.
Certainly is. Cheers, Amber. Okay, so let's just recap the opening day's fixtures for you in the Premier League that landed on our laps about 18 minutes ago. And the big kick-off, as we've just been hearing, is Coventry, the Championship winners, going to the Premier League champions Arsenal on that first Friday night, live on Sky Sports. That one is. The next day, Hull came through the playoffs, squeaked into the playoffs, and they host Manchester United on the first day. David Moyes' Everton have Pierre Sarge and Crystal Palace in his first game in charge, having taken over from Oliver Glasner. Ipswich, newly promoted, runners-up in the Championship, go up against Sunderland, who've got a European season to look forward to. Nottingham Forest play Leeds. Both of them will be hoping for a better finish than last season. And all of the fixtures you can see beneath that are live on Sky. Saturday night, Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur. Brighton against Aston Villa, both in Europe this season. Manchester City and Bournemouth. And City might have something to say to Bournemouth because it was that draw at the end of last season that handed Arsenal the title. Newcastle against Liverpool is always glorious, a classic Premier League fixture. And we round it off on the Monday night, live on Sky. Fulham against Chelsea, a West London derby. Now, you can scan the QR code that is on your screen right there, and it'll take you right to the Sky Sports app. Get all the fixtures in great detail. You can also tell it your club, and it'll give you the fixtures for the season.
Who knows what might get able to get.
All right. Hull City gearing up for their Premier League return after a near-decade absence. We'll go live to the MKM Stadium to run you through their key fixtures.
Right, so it's going to work to make it.
Go get all the fans ready then.
Hello, welcome back to Sky Sports News. We're breaking into our wall-to-wall World Cup coverage for the big launch of the Premier League fixtures, which reached us 25 minutes ago. And you can see them behind us. You can see them going across the bottom of your screen right now. No doubt about it, the big fixture that caught our eye on the opening day is the Friday night kickoff live on Sky Sports News. It'll be Arsenal, the Premier League champions, against Coventry City, Frank Lampard's Championship winners. Now, this was an opening day fixture some 33 years ago, Charlie. I know you're not old enough to remember it, so I'm going to show you the pictures of it. Mick Quinn, with the moustache, bagged a hat-trick for Coventry on the opening day. This is Highbury going under some remedial work. You'll see the stand behind the goal in the first. And what a finish that is, by the way, from Mick Quinn. He scored so many goals. If you know, you know. And then he rounds off his hat-trick for a 3-0 win on the opening day with that strike that is just too hot, I think, for Seaman to handle and keep that one out. They would take that, wouldn't they, on the opening day, Coventry City?
No, I think they would take that and some. I think. I'm not sure Arsenal would that.
No.
When you look back at that, you do forget sometimes. It's easy to forget that. So there was some banger goals that were scored years ago. Like opening day, what a start! Opening day, Mick Quinn, hat-trick. No better way to start as a centre forward.
Sets the tone for the season. The one thing I've been reading around Coventry a lot, because I was a young boy back in the day. I don't remember it firsthand, but I've been told that Coventry was circling the drain a little bit before their ultimate relegation. So a result like that sets the tone for your season if you can get off and running on the opening day.
And that breeds a confidence then. Because if you're going on the receiving end of a 3-0 result, beating then head to down, you just want to get that first win. And when that comes on the opening day, then all of a sudden you'd like to think it just breeds confidence within.
Yeah, that is how everybody will want to start their season. So just a reminder, Hull City hosting Manchester United in their first season back in the Premier League for 9 years. And the other promoted side is Ipswich Town at home to Sunderland. Both of those games will be played on the Saturday, August the 22nd. Okay, we've done plenty on Arsenal. I think we shift our focus now, Charlie, to Tottenham Hotspur, because Spurs start their first season under Roberto De Zerbi with a trip to Brentford, the former home of their former boss Thomas Frank, of course. They can't have another season like they've had for the last couple of years. Let's get reaction by heading back to our reporter, Michael Bridge. Michael, what are your thoughts then on the opening fixture set for Tottenham Hotspur, and how much has happened since that first day of last season when Thomas Frank was the new man at the helm?
Yeah, well, good morning to both of you. Yeah, I mean,
the message is never again after the two 17th place finishes. But Brentford away, first game of the season. Look, the first game, that was Ange Postecoglou's first game, of course, a 2-2 draw. But look, it's an interesting looking first set of games. Of Brentford away, of course, then home to Newcastle United, then a trip to Nottingham Forest, and then two home games, Everton, Aston Villa, and then going to Manchester United in October. Now, of course, you know, Spurs aren't in Europe this season, so it'll be interesting to see. You look at the likes of Manchester United last season, no Europe for them, so their full focus really was on the league, and look how well that went. But look, in terms of, you say Brentford away, look, changes are already afoot here with Tottenham Hotspur. They've probably been the busiest side so far in terms of transfers, so it'll be intriguing to see what that lineup will be on the opening day at the GTEC.
Yeah, we have to talk about the North London derby as well, Michael. I mean, Arsenal fans sing North London forever. I imagine it's more like North London derby forever after last season, the 4-1, 4-1 double. They'll be hoping to improve on that, Tottenham, won't they?
Certainly. I mean, it can't get much worse than that, can it? It can't. No, it can't. But yeah, the one interesting one for me, the interesting one for me, I'm looking at it, Arsenal away in May. Ooh. Now, I can't remember when Spurs last played Arsenal in May, but, you know, the North London derby is Gary Neville's favourite game. It is one of the most exciting games. But the sad thing is for Spurs, they're usually on the wrong end of a bit of a tonkin. And last year was all about Eberechi Eze. Looked like he was coming here, went to Arsenal, scores a hat-trick in the North London derby, gets a couple here. But look, I think Spurs will be a different animal under Roberto De Zerbi. I think we saw that in the last few games. And let's not forget, right? It could have been so much worse. It was looking incredibly bleak here. So I think in a sense that the message after the final game was relief. So I think a lot of the Spurs, speaking to a couple of supporters outside here getting their new kits, they said, we don't really care if they've got a hard end to the season, a difficult this, a difficult that. They're just kind of relieved that they're here for Premier League fixtures release day.
Bridgie, are you know, obviously you're there now and it's part of the Premier League fixtures and all that, but we did laugh and joke last year and you was fearing the worst, but now it's there. Do you really believe that Tottenham are going to turn things around and Roberto De Zerbi is going to turn this around and get Tottenham up the top end of the Premier League rather than the bottom end?
Well, I think firstly, I think they've got the right manager. It's someone they've wanted for a long time, but for reasons that, you know, Roberto, it just not being the right time. He came in at a difficult moment, you know, and then the first few weeks, Christian Romero got a serious injury, and then Xavi Simons got a serious injury, Tom Solanke, and it was looking bleak. But then the week later, De Zerbi said, stop moaning, stop crying, we'll be all right, and they, in the end, they survived. Few things this season where I think Spurs will have a much, much better season. One, there's the promise from Vinay Venkatesham and Peter Charrington that they will spend big this summer. There's an admission that mistakes have been made in the past. They want to go and spend big. And we've just seen Spurs have paid £52 million for a defender, Jan Paul van Hecker. Andrew Robertson's come in, Marcos Senesi. So already that defence is looking solid. Then there is real interest in Newcastle's Sandro Tonali. They still like Savinho for Manchester City. The message is, and I'm getting, they're going to spend big. Spurs are going to be busy. They don't want this situation again. And I mentioned it at the start, Manchester United not having Europe. This club has been in Europe 18 years out of 20. They should be in Europe. But because of last season, they're not. But maybe, just maybe, a season out, while Roberto De Zerbi completely transforms the squad, it might do them a bit of good. We know the Thursdays to Sundays. We know the Saturdays to Tuesdays. It can take a lot on your squad. And of course, there have been so many injuries here. There's a number of players who won't be back here until sort of November, December. So maybe a little bit of a reset. Less games might just do the club a bit of good next season.
The other thing they've got to sort out, obviously the injuries, need to get off to a good start, Tottenham, but the home form at that big shiny stadium behind you, Michael, has got to improve, hasn't it? And their first three home games are Newcastle, Everton and Aston Villa. Will that be of concern?
You said official without me.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I mean, I said last season I've seen Conor Ben here win. But yeah, that is something they have to do. They have to be more difficult to beat. And over the last couple of seasons, it became a bit of the norm. They won the Europa League, a great night in Bilbao. But when it came back to the league, it was a bit
But it doesn't matter, they're still in the Europa League. They're still in the Europa League. They're still in the Europa League. That won't be happening this season. But as I say, look, despite all the injuries, Spurs were much, much, much better under Roberto De Zerbi. That he's addressing what he wants to do. He's got full control, and we've seen it already with the players he's brought in. Senesi was Bournemouth's Player of the Year. Liverpool fans have been saying to me, we wanted Andy Robertson to stay for another year. Van Hecke was loved by Brighton. Yes, Spurs might have paid a few million quid. You know, people keep saying it's really expensive. It's really expensive. But look, I've covered Spurs for many years, and they've been transfers. Sometimes they've not got a deal over the line. They've probably not paid what they should have done, and got another player, and he hasn't been as good. They've got the player Roberto De Zerbi wants, and that is the message I keep hearing and getting. They're gonna spend big. They're serious, and it's gonna be a busy summer.
Music to the ears of Spurs fans. Thank you, Bridgie. Now, Andoni Iraola begins his new challenge at Anfield with Liverpool. So how does their start to the season look? We'll go through their first 6 fixtures and some of the big Premier League derbies next. Hello everybody, welcome back on Premier League fixture launch day. We've covered off a lot of the big teams at the top of the Premier League. We're going to focus on Liverpool, who have got a new boss in the dugout. Andoni Iraola has done wonders at Bournemouth, who, with respect, are not Liverpool. Dean Court, the Vitality Stadium, is not Anfield. He's got a big job on his hands, and we can see Liverpool's first 6 in the Premier League, and it's a big one away at St James's Park to kick things off.
It is, and that fixture's always a special one wherever it's kind of cemented into Premier League history, isn't it? Liverpool, Newcastle. The first home game, Nottingham Forest, then they obviously go to Ipswich, Fulham at home again, Bournemouth away, and then Man City at home is the first big home game of the season. And yes, it's completely different. Liverpool, size of the club of Liverpool, to Bournemouth, the stadium, the fan base, etc., etc. But if any football fan watching Bournemouth over the years when he's been in there would have wanted him to become their manager if he was available, and listen, he's fortunate enough to take the Liverpool job, and fingers crossed he can turn it around. And when I say turn it around, I mean Liverpool fighting for the Premier League title, because their defence of the title wasn't very good at all.
No, it wasn't, and they've already stolen a player from under the nose of Newcastle ahead of that first game at St James's Park. Liverpool fans, we're going to come back and do Liverpool in much greater detail, but we're going to go straight to Hull City now, because after a 9-year absence, newly promoted Hull can look forward to welcoming Manchester United on the opening weekend. Let's get more on their fixture set and join Alan Myers, who's at the MKM Stadium. Alan.
Yes, well, there was a gasp when the fixtures were announced at 10 o'clock. I'm pleased to say I've got former Hull City player Jake Livermore with me. And Jake, you look at these new fixtures and you think a home game against one of the big boys, and you got both.
I think it's perfect. I think it's the perfect fixture. All the pressure will be on Man United, so to speak, and I think as long as you can build some confidence from the first game, it'll be great.
Is it the best time to play someone like Manchester United in the first game when you come back?
I think so, because the nerves are straight out. It's a massive occasion for everyone involved at the club and the city, so it'll be great in that respect. And obviously Manchester United have a lot of players away at the World Cup as well, so how do they look and how do they settle back in? I think it's a great time to catch them cold.
And you've been here when this place is full and rocking, and it does make a noise, doesn't it? I mean, that day will be something else, won't it?
This will be so important. Home fixtures will be so important for us this season. I think it's a great first fixture, and I think we need to turn it into a real fortress.
I looked at other fixtures. When I came here, I thought everyone was going to be looking for the Leeds result. Doesn't seem that's the case. They want the big teams. They want the Arsenals, the Liverpools, the Evertons, the Manchester United.
I mean, the big teams are great, and obviously fans look at that, but I think there's some real winnable games in there, and I think the timing of it can be crucial. We've got Leeds between Christmas and New Year, which is massive, and I think by then, we'll be shaking ourselves in it.
What can Hull City fans expect this season? It's an interesting one, because is he going to spend money? I mean, this owner is not shy, is he? He's someone that may well spend money.
I think it's recruiting well, which will be most important. The lads who have got promoted will want their chance and deserve their chance, and I think adding to the squad tastefully and with experience and some good young loans perhaps I think will be crucial.
Yeah, and you look at Sunderland and what they did last season. It can be done.
it can be done, and we've also seen in previous years where sometimes just buying those players that take time to bed in. You know, we know managers got the confidence of the ball, but each and every manager wants to get off to a good start.
Great, Jake, thanks very much. And as I say, you know, it was a real shock. It wasn't cheers, it was more shock than they got Manchester United at home. What a way to open the season for Hull City.
Now, thank you. Well, the North London derby last season was pretty Eberici easy for Arsenal, wasn't it? We scored 5 goals across the 2. After the break, we're going to look ahead to those all-important Premier League derby dates. Don't go anywhere.
Get that Euro Millions feeling with this Friday's £33 million jackpot. Euro Millions, it could be you. Button-up box. We know that fresh food makes for happy dogs. Fresh, happy. Fresh, happy. Fresh, happy. Not so much. Because when your dog is happy, they do this, and all of this. Which is why we use only the finest human quality ingredients. Button-up box. Fresh food, happy dogs.
This is the life. Signature quality, expertly crafted, and a comforting 15-year guarantee. Life is about the company you keep. The Cotswold Company sale is now on.
In a world full of noise and uncertainty, IG is the investment platform that backs you. Forget the dubious tips from that guy down the pub. Get real-time insights, analysis and tools. No more fat cat brokers clawing your gains. Pay zero commission on your investments. Switch to a platform trusted by investors for over 50 years. IG. Trade, invest, progress.
I'm used to doing things the hard way.
Morning, Russ. Morning. But I thought getting cheaper energy was just too hard.
Not now, though. Off-peak energy is available at lots of different times, like during the day or weekends. Just check your energy company's website.
Even busy people like me can take advantage.
Just get a smart meter and choose a flexible scheme or tariff.
With a smart meter, getting cheaper energy is easier than you think.
Dear Spielberg, Nolan,
Scorsese.
Fennell, thank you for the stories.
I will remember forever. The Sky Cinema Director's Collection, available now.
These are turbulent times.